There's Holmgren. They get Favre, and hello.
That's Rich.
But they also had the foresight to stay with him. When they brought him in, he was one wild quarterback.
That's the end of 3 in Green Bay. All packed, 37-7, and Monday Night Football returns after this from our ABC stations. That wins the prize. A cowboy cheese hat and a tie as we start the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he looks like he'd wear it, too.
Can you imagine he'd be wearing a clip-on cheese tie?
3rd and 5. As Dorsey Levin swings to the outside, and he picks up a first down. Darrell Boykin makes the tackle. Start the fourth quarter. Packers on top 37-7. All over Green Bay. Those are lights on somebody's roof, and look at the logo lower left of the sign. From the Goodyear Blimp, Stars and Stripes. We find everything.
Is that somebody's roof?
Yep.
Oh no, that's a blimp.
And the blimp providing that shot of Lambeau Field.
What a lot of work they've done on this since 1989. All these skyboxes now completely circling the stadium.
Look at the flash bulbs going on. This looks like a rock concert going on.
Green Day in Green Bay. First down from the 12 as this is William Henderson taking it to the 5-yard line. It'll be second down and 3.
Hey, this drive started at the 38-yard line. Packers 38-yard line. It's been totally on the ground. That's humiliating.
Yes, it is.
Next week we go to Pittsburgh. It'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football. Buffalo 2-0. Came from behind to beat the Giants in OT opening game. And yesterday they knocked off New England. And the Steelers now 1-1. Mike Tomczak riding the ship yesterday. Three Rivers Stadium to site Bills Steelers next Monday.
Rod Woodson with a big game yesterday.
2nd and 2, and to give the ball to the bruiser, William Henderson, getting a lot of work. Rathman-like performance tonight. Tom Rathman-like for Henderson.
Well, the good news for Philadelphia is that they do get to go home and get some home cooking. 2 games on the road for Ray Rhodes and his team, and they'll come out of it 500 after eking out the win at RFK against the Skins and get to go home and try to get better against Detroit. But on a short work week after a Monday night game, this will not be easy to get out of these guys' minds. This is the type of a defeat that can stay with you for a while.
Yep, you're thinking of it as a measuring stick game in a way. 3rd down and 2 from the 4-yard line. And Levens tries to find the first down, which he's very close to getting. It'll either be 4th and a couple of inches or first down, and the Pack indicating they're a little short.
And this crowd telling Mike Holmgren that let's show no mercy, and Mike does. Sends up Chris Jackie.
So on 4th and 1, the Pack with Sherman Lewis on the left, the offensive coordinator, watching his unit pick up 34 points last week, 37 tonight. Gil Haskell, the receivers coach, in the middle. And their team on its way to being 2-0. Jackie for a chip shot here, 21 yards.
And I wonder if this field goal is a Mike Holmgren. Whoa, over the head.
Hentrick pulls the Yepremian, and that's one way to stop the Packers.
Well, but at least by throwing the pass like that, he gets it back. He gets it back to the line of scrimmage.
Mike Arthur, I mean, that wasn't even close. The center snap. I mean, that was several feet over the holder.
An errant toss.
Mike Holmgren doesn't like that either. Brought you on board to do one thing, and don't you forget it. Not even close.
Now, Green Bay is mortal, but they still lead by 30.
We ask for your forgiveness. This was a joint effort amongst us all, but this is called the Macarena and cheese. We all had a hand in that. No one wants to claim it. Macarena and cheese, only at Lambeau.
We would hope. The Eagles begin from their own 3.
Packer fans, one more.
Yeah. Ricky Waters has to scramble out of the end zone up to the 5-yard line. He's tackled by Kuntz.
The new Ricky Waters, he's a little heavier. He's up there around 227 pounds or so. He says he didn't plan on gaining the weight. He just started working with weights. His lifestyle has changed a lot. He's become a very spiritual young man. He says he's much more focused. And had a very disappointing night thus far. That key fumble early on.
Second and 8 from the 5. Pete airs it out, but nobody there. Too far, intended for Irving Fryer.
And Irving Fryer was wide open. Rodney Peete knows it.
Boy, that's not a little misfire, Frank. He overthrew him by 5 yards.
And you get a little antsy when you're throwing out of your own end zone.
And it also looks like a throw by a guy who doesn't have a great deal of confidence in where the ball's going.
So the backup Ty Detmer, the former Packer. Third down and 8. Pete nearly gets sacked, then gets sacked for the safety.
That's what he was concerned about in the play before, and obviously he had every right to be concerned about it.
Well, Santana Dotson was the first guy there, but Rodney made him miss. I mean, Dotson's high-fiving everybody, but Santana went right over the top.
I'll tell you, but for Mike Holmgren, he was there. And that's what...
They're going to credit Reggie White with the safety.
There's Dotson, he misses. There's White.
After the safety, free kick for Philadelphia, so Tom Hutton boots it from his own 20-yard line. Put a kick down to the 11-yard line. Antonio Freeman. That was a 69-yard kick, or 69 yards in the air, and Freeman brings it back to the 33. Reggie White, he and Dotson will share this sack, creating the safety. 39-7. Became Brett again, 17 out of 31, and he's done for the night. And Jim McMahon guided the Bears to the Super Bowl crown following the '85 season, takes over at the 27-yard line. And the visored one gives it to Travis Jervey up to the 34-yard line on Jervey's first carry of the night.
Well, McMahon's found life after the Super Bowl, too. This is his 6th team, the Green Bay Packers, with Chicago 7 times. One of the 2 active players to have played in the Super Bowl.
Don Beebe, the other, the receiver who played in 4 of them for the Buffalo Bills.
McMahon also was San Diego, Philadelphia, actually, for 3 years. We had him on a Monday night down in Washington. Remember that game?
Yep.
Minnesota, Arizona, and now Green Bay.
15th year for Jimmy Mack.
Second down and 4. Jervey, and he's up to the 37-yard line, close to a first down with 10 minutes left in regulation. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Ford Escort. It's new and it's nifty, made for the smart, the intelligent, thrifty. Slate's dress pants, always a touchdown, never fumble. These are those pants. Pennzoil Motor Oil, first to fully achieve the tougher 1997 GF2 performance standard, and Visa, the preferred card of the National Football League. It's everywhere you want to be.
I tell you, the Packers have trotted out some bruising runners here tonight. Jervey, a 225-pound second-year man out of the Citadel.
We've seen everybody but Jim Taylor tonight. On the frozen tundra.
I saw Jim Taylor about a month ago. He looks great. Jim Taylor looks like he could still play.
You trying to give me flashbacks?
Yes. Just a little reminiscing. Speaking of reminiscing, Taylor still holds the Packer record for most yardage in a season all the way back to 1962.
1,400 plus.
Yeah.
14-game season then, too.
Yeah, a great guy. Moderately tough, too, huh, Frank?
That would extrapolate to, what, 1,600 yards for the day? That's not bad.
Hard star.
Oh, he looked for some linebackers to run over.
Oh, he did.
Or bite him or something. He actually bit Sam Huff.
Well, he was just so happy to get. He was just so happy to get to hit somebody other than having to take on Nitschke in practice.
Levens picks up the first down on 3rd and short.
Let's face it, butting heads with Ray Nitschke every day in practice would put anybody in a bad mood.
Well, you talk about a big-time Ring of Honor.
Yes, sir.
Every name that pops up.
Willie Davis, one of the great people. Willie and I toured Vietnam together.
See, a lot of
in the
teams,
60s.
a lot of teams have their Ring of Honor, which is a lot of players. This is the Packer/Hall of Fame Ring of Honor. Every name we've looked at so far is in the Hall of Fame.
Yep. Speaking of rings,
and look at this.
Those are the horns. Used to commute from Chicago.
I was going to say speaking of ringers, but never mind. First down from the 39-yard line. The great Paul Hornung.
They used to say about Paul Hornung, he could make going down to the town to get a loaf of bread. Could be exciting.
Well, Frank, we talked about you in the frozen tundra back in 1967. And in fact, to prove it,
I'm Frank Gifford. Here in Green Bay,
You're
they
not.
explained the world champion Packers with a single word: work. Coach Vince Lombardi says that those who seek success in pro football must never stop working for it. Over and over, the men of Lombardi are drilled to do everything the right way. Teams that meet the Packers know that while they may play even with Green Bay for a while, as soon as they make a mistake...
How come you had your hands in your pocket? Was it cold?
our archives have everything. This is Levens. He fumbles the football. It's loose, but the Pack gets it back as Jervy covers up at the 40. Frank, did you really do that in the parking lot, or was that done in New York and they put that in as the backdrop?
I did it for NFL Films, and I remember I went in to see Vince Lombardi that particular day, and I forget what year it was, but he said, you know, I'm really getting tired of this. And as the first clue I had that he was thinking of getting out of the game, and which he ultimately did, and of course was out for 2 or 3 years before he went down to Washington. Vince, of course, was my coach for 7 years with the Giants. He came there in 1954 and left in 1959 or 1960.
What vintage was that, Frank? What year was that?
I don't know. It was a good-looking coat, though, wasn't it?
I saw you wear it last winter.
I couldn't tell whether it was color or black and white in that weather. 3rd and 3 from the 46-yard line. Levens again. And he's close to a first down before 60,666. And that tonight is a new Lambeau Field record. Not that I guess, you know, they have every seat completely sold out as a season ticket and a waiting list forever. So I guess they somehow figured out a way to squeeze a couple of more people in tonight.
I think they finished construction on some of those new luxury boxes in the corner of the end zones. And this being the first home game this year, they got to try them out and add to that record attendance.
You know, guys, if this were any other stadium, I think, in the country, with this kind of score, 39-7, a little less than 7 minutes to go in the game, there'd be a lot of empty seats.
There would be. You're
there
right.
are none.
That's a good observation, Frank. You're right. Everybody is still here.
That's going to make it fun getting to the airport, isn't it?
I'm sure the Eagles are thrilled that they have all stayed to watch this debacle.
Well, they've waited a long time. The Packers last appearing on Monday night at home in '86, and then the team didn't play very well for a number of years. Holmgren brought them back. In the last couple of years, we've had Green Bay, but on the road at Chicago twice and at Kansas City. And here tonight and back here on the 14th of October against San Francisco. Pentrick to kick. It just does dribble into the end zone. So 6:33 remaining in the fourth quarter in Green Bay, where the Packers lead 39-7.
Always a dream of mine to be taped to a piece of cheese.
Dream come true.
That's the label off our new CD. You guys didn't even know you had a tape out, did you? Or an album, or pretty good.
We do?
Yeah, you do.
Royalties?
Well, didn't say it was that good.
Oh, all right. First down from the 20-yard line. Ty Detmer's in the game, and the new Eagle quarterback hits Chris T. Jones for a gain of 11. This game figured to be a chess match tonight between Holmgren and Ray Rhodes, but Mike has too much firepower. We mentioned that Rhodes was an assistant here. He was the defensive coordinator for 2 years here when Mike came over. He brought him from San Francisco, and Rhodes left under circumstances that some people thought smelled of a rift between the two to go back to the 49ers. But Ray was very open in talking about it last night from the 31.